Becoming the CEO of your own life means that you have a say in everything you do. You also have a relationship with every part of you so that when you do decide to do something, you're all in. Because the spiritual, highly educated, highly motivated woman that I was running and earning and pushing. I felt like I needed one more strategy, one more thing to do, to learn in order to get it all. I thought that I had to do it all and earn it all in order to have it all. And the truth is, you don't need to do any more. You don't need one more strategy. You don't even need this class. What you need to do is learn how to feel what it feels like to be aligned when you make a decision, because it's not about another tactic or another trip or tip or trick, although those are fun and they work when you're in the right space. So how do you know you're aligned? Well, here's something that I am offering in Becoming the CEO of Your Own Life. Part of this is what to say no to, what to see as a false lover, so to speak, something that is false, that is distracting you, scattering you, taking up a lot of time. And these could be patterns. It could be your coworker. It could be your children. It can be, quite honestly, anything, because it's not about the thing. It's about your attention on it. So let's talk about some of the phonos that will distract you when you are trying to keep your eye on your vision. And the first oh no, or the phono, is the faux presence. It's the false presence that a woman steps into when she levels herself up. And this looks very obvious when you are around a woman that is leveling herself up and becoming more restful and relaxed in her life. And it takes a couple's pendulum swings to get there. First you're running in one way, and then you stop and you're so uncomfortable you start running in another way. And this type of false lover, false performative energy is because you don't know who you are. You have an idea because your job or the people that you surround yourself with are feeding you information of maybe what your calling could be. Your job's not going to be too far from it. But if you are not nestled in it, you're going to feel scattered and distracted, because it doesn't seem logical that we should be able to not perform and still get attention, get money, find the man of our dreams, the perfect job, the perfect client, the perfect girlfriend. The faux lover there is when you perform for it. It's not presence. When you slap on a designer outfit over a resting bitch face, that's your presence. Now, do you want to look like the woman that is rested and taken care of? Well, if you are, then you can't perform rest. You can't perform compassion or patience. You can't perform those things. You can't perform nurturing. You can't perform emotional intelligence. You can't perform beauty. And we know women that do this, that spiritually bypass. They slap makeup on a face that's been in the sun for 60 years. There's no amount of makeup that is going to hide that kind of damage. And if your foundation in your skincare is to overindulge in the sun, then your skin is going to show it. No amount of makeup is going to hide that kind of damage. No amount of clothing, whether it's $1,000 pair of shoes, are going to be able to hide the fact that you do not walk with good posture, or you don't take care of your shoes, or you are such in a hurry that you end up breaking your shoes. The difference between the phono, the false lover, and the real thing is that you can't perform it. And this is one of the biggest difference between masculine and feminine energy. You can't make a baby grow in you. You can nurture yourself and allow that baby to grow in you and feed off of your body and cells and your tissues. And you feeding yourself good food and living in a house that is calm is also feeding that child. And it's going to take 9 months, and it's not going to take less, maybe, but then it comes with complications. When you fall into a phono, you're falling into masculine energy. And being the CEO of your own life knows the difference in this. If you are with your husband and you feel like you have to perform in bed, that's a phono. You don't want to perform. You want to allow the pleasure to build up inside of you over the period of maybe minutes to start, but let's start building up that pleasure over the course of hours, maybe even days. And the more that you know about what feels comfortable with you, the more you can flirt with your man and still hold him off, because it's all about you. That is presence, not performative. When you make it all about yourself, and this is for the big-hearted, compassionate women that overgive, when we make it all about ourselves and our hand is the last to raise when people are asking for volunteers, that feeds your radiance. All right, let's get to the second phono, and that is the false lover of relaxation versus a weekend off or a vacation. How is relaxation part of something when you're planning something? And this is a perspective shift. Relaxation is a state of being. You can't effort yourself into that state of being. You can effort yourself into the position to be relaxed, but do we do that? When we have 2 weeks off and we're with the kids, do we do that? Do we spend that time on us? Do we ask ourselves, what's in it for me every time they ask you for something? Probably not, because that is the false lover, the story in your head that you're being greedy because you are not cutting yourself open for the people in your life. And again, for the spiritual, big-hearted woman out there that is running her ass off, taking care of everyone, and at the end of the day, feeling unseen. It is because the real fuel behind relaxation comes from your feminine energy, not your masculine energy. You can't effort yourself into relaxation. You can't force yourself into relaxation. You can force yourself to sit in a chair. But if you're being honest with yourself, take a look at yourself sitting in that chair. And no shame. This is a journey for all women, especially the beautiful golden goddesses over 50. We have been running our whole lives and we've watched our mothers run. We do not know what it looks like to relax. And if we have seen a woman in her relaxation, she was a gold digger, she was greedy, she was lazy. she was the toxic mother-in-law. So of course, we're not going to look at behavior fueled with feminine energy as something that is palatable until you realize how exhausted and depleted you are in this performance energy, in this fake relaxation. We're going on vacation. We're taking a cruise and we're getting up every morning at 5 to go on an excursion. I took a cruise with my ex-husband. It was a Mediterranean cruise and it was awesome. But looking back on it, the best time we had in that entire beautiful, I think it was a 10-day cruise to all parts of Italy and southern Spain, was the day we sat in Positano and shared a relish tray and a cafe with a coffee and just watched everything for 2 hours instead of running around for 2 hours and getting it all done. And I only had one goal that day, and that was to get a postcard, us both fill it out and mail it home to us so we could relive this beautiful vacation. And I did that, and we sat for 2 hours just basking in the gloriousness of this beautiful country. That takes a lot of relaxation in a body that is conditioned to run. And becoming the CEO of your life is understanding that even though it takes the running and the masculine structure to get it all done, there is so much healing that can be done with behavior fueled by feminine energy in your relaxation, in your ability to shut your phone off for an hour and not implode, in your ability to keep trying to spin the marble in your head even though thoughts are creeping in. Keep a notepad and pen by your bedside so that you can just write it down. It takes practice, it takes repetitions for you to drop into there, and you'll learn. You'll be able to do it just like that. And it just takes practice. All right, let's talk about the third phono, and that is the instead of man. Ladies, when we attach ourselves to the instead of man, we are walking into a relationship with a man that is fake. And he is not fake, but the dynamic that you are creating with him is fake if he is the instead of man. So let's get into it. The instead of man is the man that is filling these empty buckets inside of you. If you lost your husband and you really want a man around to fix things in the home and to be there when things go bump in the night, instead of bringing a man into your life to take care of that and not realizing that this man comes with the whole package of his own stuff and getting addicted to him or bonded with him or attached to him before the characteristics come out because he's just filling these buckets of loneliness or the buckets of, man, this floor needs to be fixed. It's been 3 years since my husband died. Can you fix it? What you're doing there is you are not filtering out for characteristics. You're not filtering out for high values such as generosity. Him being generous with his time in order to gain access to you is very different than him being generous with his time and money when it does not affect him at all. Bringing in the man that fills the loneliness bucket, sometimes we get caught up and we miss the red flags that he's really not there for us. It's really a sort of breadcrumbing, but we don't realize it because we're confirming it every time we see him. Holding your own worthiness and having these conversations with people that are just filling a bucket that you haven't filled is going to end up breaking your heart. And the reason is because you gave the power to them to see you. So however they see you, boy, those pants look tight on you. Or no, Hillary doesn't want you to call her anything other than her name. And you are just Joanne. Nothing bonus about you. That can break your heart. But if you can see it as what's here for me is that I'm attaching myself to people that can't see me for who I am because I'm not showing them. I haven't filled my own bucket of love. So when I bring them in and I'm hoping that they love me and they don't, it's debilitating to my heart. And that was a pattern I was able to overcome by getting rid of the phonos, seeing the patterns for what they are, and not blaming the man, because it's not the man's fault. It's not about the man being untrustworthy. It's about, are you trustworthy not to abandon yourself when the 80% man comes in? I have a whole list of things that I dream about every day about my man, but I'm doing those things with me every day. I take the dance lessons. I take the singing lessons. I bring myself flowers. I infuse luxury and flirtiness and fun in everything I do. I don't need a man to fill that up, but I do need a man in my life to get to the next level of unconditional love, of healing generations of a pattern that has not allowed the women in my lineage to receive. We can't experience love because we think it comes from outside of us, and it doesn't. And that's where somebody like the faux lover can sneak in. Alexa, off. Well, there it is. We're going to wrap this up just under 20 minutes and give you an opportunity to check out how to become the CEO of your own life. It's airing on July 11th live. Check out the comments so that you can get the code and get it at such a reasonable cost, because once it goes live, it's going to jump to its original price. And I think I'm going to put in a bonus transmission in August, which is then going to jump the price up even more. And the reason is because this is life-changing information. When women get together and we talk about a pattern that we can't seem to break, and we say it out loud in a group of women, we hear it. When we can say it out loud in a space where we are offered the space to hear ourselves say the ridiculous patterns and beliefs and loyalties that we have to people that can't even call you back. What women, especially the golden goddesses over 50, need are containers where you can find how relaxation feels like in their body, and the mountains that they had to cross in order to relax. This isn't woo-woo. This is how we step into a future that isn't blindsided by social media and news and the patriarchy and our parents' loyalties. This is the life that you get to create and curate all on your own, with your own skills and your own magic. You just need the stage to step onto and practice that magic and blow up a couple things, but be able to harness it and wield it when you need to, like the magic of compassion and the magic of your presence, not performance, and your magic of relaxation, because when you relax, everyone around you will. That's being the big vibe. And you learn that in becoming the CEO of your own life. And lastly, the 80% man, the instead of man. Instead of feeling my own loneliness and asking myself, what's here for me? I bring a man in to fill up that loneliness, and then all of a sudden, he's not quite the man I want him to be, and I can't get him out of my life right now. Too intertwined, physiologically, as well as socially in your family, with your friends. Here's another one that bites the dust. You got this, ladies, and I will see you on July 11th when you're ready to step into your for real life, not your phono life. All right, you take care.